There are many stories from different persuasions that it could be said have the same theme. So let's see what this particular version evokes for us. In a time not so long ago, in a place not so far away, there was a small village nestled in a valley between high mountains. And in that village lived a young man by the name of Jacob. Now, from the very earliest age, Jacob loved to ask questions. Every time an answer was given to a question, another question would arise for him. But as he grew, his questions became more profound, asking the questions about the meaning of life and so forth. But there came a time when the questions he asked were so deep that no one in his village was able to provide the answers. So, as it was known that in a distant place over the mountains there was a great and wise rabbi who was known for his wisdom and having the answers to all the questions of life, that Jacob would be sent to present his questions to this rabbi. So his mother made a little pack for him to carry of bread and cheese and a flask of water, and embracing him and wishing him well, they sent him on his way. Now it was rather an arduous journey over the mountains, and there were adventures to be had. But after his arrival at the place where the great rabbi lived, when he came into the rabbi's presence and he sat listening to the dissertations that were the wisdom that flowed from him, finally there came the moment when he was in the presence of the rabbi himself. And he said to the rabbi, "I'm here to learn the secrets of God." And the rabbi said, Yes, I can teach you. But tell me, do you have somewhere to stay?" And Jacob said, "I don't need anywhere to stay. I'm here to learn the secrets of God." "Oh," said the rabbi, "go and find somewhere to stay and then I'll teach you." But when Jacob went out into the village, he found that there was nowhere for him to find a place. It was a small village, and everywhere was occupied, not even anyone with a bed to spare for him. But as it happened, he found a kindly carpenter who was willing to share his tools with him and some knowledge. So Jacob set about the task of building himself a house. At first the walls fell down and the roof fell in, but after some time he learned the skills, and finally he built a little house. Although it wasn't pretty, it was functional and cozy and warm. And after he'd completed the house, he went to the rabbi and said, "I've done what you tell me to do. Now will you teach me the secrets of God?" And the rabbi said, "Well, yes, but do you have a job?" And Jacob said, "I don't need a job. I'm here to learn the God secrets." "Oh, I can't impart those to you until you get a job." So Jacob went out at a loss to know what to do, but he found a little poster on a post asking from the local baker for an apprentice. So he got a job as an apprentice to the baker. Well, Jacob had never worked so hard in his life. From morning till night he had to knead dough and make bread and make cakes. But after some time he became very adept, not only at the kneading, but at the baking, and he was so good and so diligent that the baker made him a partner. So at this stage, Jacob took a basket of bread that he'd baked and some cakes that he'd made, and he took them to the rabbi and he said, "Rabbi, I've done what you told me to do. I've got a job and here is the fruits of my labors." "Oh," said the rabbi. And then Jacob said, well, now will you teach me the secrets of God? And the rabbi said, "Are you married?" Jacob said, I'm not here to get married, I'm here to learn the secrets of God. The rabbi said, "Oh, well, go and get married and then I'll teach you." So it so happened that a rather comely young maiden had been visiting the bakery shop from time to time, and they'd got a kind of rapport going. And so Jacob asked her out, and they started to have picnics together and such like. And of course, as the natural course of events, they fell in love, and they had a simple wedding, and they set up house in Jacob's house, and they were very happy. And Jacob had never experienced this before, that which is called love. So he loved his wife with all his heart. And then he went back to the rabbi and said to the rabbi, "Well, I've done what you told me to do. I built a house and I got a job and now I'm married. Will you teach me the secrets of God?" And the rabbi said, "Do you have children?" And Jacob was kind of expecting this, so he wasn't as peeved and frustrated and angry as he had been before when the rabbi asked him to go get a job and get married and such like. So Jacob went off, and he thought that he knew what love was. He had a happy household, he loved his wife dearly, and then his children came. And as they were embraced in that which made the fulfillment of what is called a family, and maybe even what we would call love, he found himself deeply, deeply, deeply adoring his children and his wife, and he slaved and worked at the bakery to provide those needs that would allow his family to flourish. But of course it came the time for him to go back to the rabbi, and he said, "Well, now I fulfilled all that you told me to do. I built a house, I got a job, I got married, and now I have children. Will you teach me the secrets of God?" And the rabbi looked at him and said, "You're not yet ready, but wait a while." And not long after, a message came from his home village that his grandfather was ailing. So immediately Jacob set off to return to his hometown. And when he was in the presence of his grandfather, he found him in a very weakened, frail state. But he sat with his grandfather, and they shared the experiences of their lives. And his grandfather came to recognize that Jacob had grown mature and wise. And after a short while, his grandfather slipped away into that nether world of death. Now Jacob was devastated. He had never known such sadness, a sadness that not only enveloped his world, but seemed to envelop the whole of existence. And he wept in a way that he had never wept before. But gathering himself together, there was a need to return to his family. And when he did, of course, he went into the presence of the rabbi, and in again asking the question of the rabbi, will you teach me the secrets of God? The rabbi looked at him and said, there is nothing to teach you, for you yourself have learned God's secrets. And Jacob, in pondering his life, the struggles, the challenges that he had met and surpassed to arrive at this place, standing before the rabbi, accepting his knowing of God's secrets. From that moment on, Jacob stayed with the great rabbi until it came the time for the rabbi himself to reach that place where life ebbed away. But before doing so, he made Jacob his successor. Jacob himself became the wise sage. And when young people came to him and asked him to teach them God's secrets, he would say, yes, I can teach you, but do you have somewhere to stay? The story has many versions from different persuasions. But what does this particular version evoke for you? What's the essence of this story?
So life is the teacher.
That life is the teacher. That life contains all of God's secrets. Is this your discovery from the experiences of your life? Is there anything yet left for you to learn? Or has your rabbi your teacher said to you, there is nothing to learn. You already know God's secrets.